Hi! Today we're going to be making lemon bars. So instead of actual lemons, I'm going to be using limes. I have my ingredients ready. I have my assistant ready, who was taking a nap a few seconds ago, but he should be awake. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and if you miss any step of the video, just rewind it. We're ready to start, right, Jack? Jack, we're ready to start, right? Yes, he is ready to start.
Our first step will be to grease a 13 by 9 inch baking pan. I normally use Crisco shortening and make sure to cover every part of the pan, especially the corners and the creases. Remember to wash your hands before you begin, and once you're done doing it, you can remove the grease off your hands with a clean paper towel and then wash your hands again. Okay, we got it all greased and ready to go. Now set it apart. Now in a large bowl, we're going to be measuring our 2 cups of flour. So here we grab our all-purpose flour. And we're gonna go ahead and measure 2 cups, as we normally do. So we try to always dip in the cup and then make sure that we fill it up to the brim. And take off the excess. There, 1 cup exactly. And then we measure our second one. Now we're going to be adding also our half a cup of powdered sugar, and we measure it the same way that we measured the flour. Okay, we got our half a cup. There we go. And we dip it in. And remove the excess to make it 1 exact half a cup. We're also going to add the 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, we're gonna use the tablespoon and we measure 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, and we put our cornstarch away. And the last thing we're going to be adding is our salt. So that is 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, 1/4. And now we're ready to mix this up. So let's mix it all up, all our dry ingredients, and we are going to be adding the 3/4 cup of butter. Here we go. I have 2 sticks of butter, so we're gonna chop it up a little bit in pieces. And 3/4 of a cup is actually a stick and a half of butter. I should have cut this one first, but I'm just gonna do it right now and then put it away. So just half of the second bar. Okay, and now that we have our batter in our bowl, you can either use a pastry blender if you have it, or the way that I normally do it, and with very clean hands, I use the tip of my fingers and I start kind of pinching the butter with the flour mixture until it looks like coarse crumbs or like Parmesan cheese, let's say. So just keep pinching and trying to make sure that you get all the butter mixed with the flour. And now you see how it starts getting like little crumbs. So just make sure that all the pieces of butter have been mixed well with the flour, and just pinch away to make sure that everything looks pretty even. I'm gonna show you how it looks. So try to make sure that there are no big chunks. Everything looks like Parmesan cheese or breadcrumbs. And all of this is done with the tip of your fingers. Yep, I think I am pretty done. Okay, so now we can move to the next step. In the meantime, let's preheat our oven to 350 Fahrenheit. And let's continue with our next step. So with our greased pan, we're going to be putting our crumb-looking dough. Try to spread it evenly on your pan, and we're going to start pressing it in the bottom of the pan. And I'm gonna show you a couple of tricks that I use to do this. So first, I try to pour these crumbs as evenly as possible on my pan, and then I'll start pressing it by levels. Okay, so I got this layer already poured in. So press it firmly with your hand, with your fingers. Make sure that it covers all the edges of the pan, all the walls. You can also use the bottom of a glass if you have it, and just press firmly to make sure that it starts compacting to the bottom of the pan. Okay, see, it looks very even. Also, if you have one of these rolling pins, which my mom was the one who left it here, you can use it. See, it rolls. You can use these to also even out and press further the dough. And the reason why I keep pushing as hard as I do on the bottom of the pan is to make sure that it compacts as much as possible, so that once it bakes, it might shrink a little bit, and then when we pour our lemon filling, we will try to avoid it from going underneath as much as possible. Here we go. So now we pour the rest of our crumbs on top to continue the second layer. Make sure always that it's as even as possible. And we push it against the already pressed dough. Okay, I will double check that we get this all pressed on the walls of the pan, on the edges. Okay, we check around and we have it all done and ready to put it in the oven. We're going to be placing it in the middle rack of our oven, and we open carefully. Here we go, in the middle. Be very careful. And we close our oven, wishing him luck. Good luck! Now we're going to put in our timer around 18 to 20 minutes for baking. I'll start at 18 and then I'll check on it to make sure if it's done. Now we're going to prepare the filling with our very pretty limes. Make sure that you have washed them thoroughly, and we're gonna grab the shiniest ones to get some of that lemon peel. We're going to be needing around 1 teaspoon of finely shredded lemon peel. So make sure that you get it right here, about 1 teaspoon. You might get that out of 1 lime or 2 or 1 whole lemon. Now we're going to be squeezing the rest of our limes. And when you normally select your limes, you can check which ones are the shiniest and which ones are a little bit more dull. Sometimes the shiniest ones, if you squeeze them, they seem to be having more juice. So pick the nicest, round, and juicy ones. We will try to squeeze 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice, or lime juice in my case. And you see how some of these are a little bit more yellow than green and less shiny. So I'm always gonna keep looking for the shiniest ones. And here we go. I will be ready to start squeezing them. So a pro tip in general, you can get all your lime juice or lemon juice that you need and squeeze it in a separate container. Anything that is left over, you can freeze it in a ice tray and have lemon cubes or lime cubes for whenever you need frozen. Okay, and here is our measuring cup. We're going to make sure that we squeeze 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. Let's see. Yep, 3/4 of a cup. Perfect. Now we're going to be putting the 4 eggs and one of our other bowls. So as always, I open the eggs and clean the inside of the eggshells with my thumb to make sure that I get all the content of the egg. Oops, and drop one of these here. Let me wash my hands. Jack is back to supervise. So now we're going to lightly beat our 4 eggs. Do you want to smell, Jack? Yeah, these are eggs. He seems to like it. Okay, here we have our lightly beaten eggs, and we're going to be adding the rest of our ingredients to it. So now we're going to add the 1.5 cups of sugar. So we will be measuring them as always for our dry ingredients with our dry measuring cups, and make sure that they are up to the brim. Perfect. 1.5 cups. And we put our sugar container away. Now we're also going to be adding 3 tablespoons of our all-purpose flour. Three tablespoons, so here we go. Now let me get my spatula, and there goes 1, 2, and 3. Smell, Jack? This is flour. He also likes flour, apparently. Now we will be adding also our 1 teaspoon of our lemon peel, or lime peel in my case. So 1 teaspoon. There you go, 1 teaspoon. Jack did not like that one. Let me move it to the other side. Okay, 1 teaspoon. And our 3/4 cup lemon juice right here, or lime juice. Oh, and I almost forgot the 1/4 cup of half and half. So let's get this also added to our filling mix. Okay, let me just double check how many ounces. So for 1/4. Do you want to smell, Jack? He approves of the half and half. Okay, so let's get the 1/4 cup of half and half. And that's all we need for our filling of the lemon bars, or lime bars. Now let me get my little spatula and clean this half and half off my container. And now we will whisk away. Make sure that everything dissolves and that you don't have any lumps. Okay, so here is our filling. This is pretty much the texture that it will have. And now we will check on our crust. So it's been 18 minutes. And let's make sure that it has a very pretty look. Yep, golden edges and all baked. So we're ready to take it out. So now that we have our crust all baked and perfect and our filling ready, we will be pouring it in. So carefully pour the filling onto the hot crust that we have prepared. And make sure to always clean the bowl to get all that good filling in your pan. Clean bowl. Very well. And we're going to be putting our lemon or lime bars in the oven. So still with 350 Fahrenheit temperature, we're going to be placing our lemon or lime bars in the middle rack of the oven. So as always, open very carefully to keep the heat in, and very sturdy we will place our pan here. And it goes. Yay! And we will wish him luck. Good luck! We will bake it for around 15 to 20 minutes or until the center looks that it's set. Very well, we come and check how's it going. It looks pretty well done. Let's double check. Let's poke it in the middle with our knife to make sure that it's all set. It might need just a few more minutes, so let me put it back in and do 4 more minutes to make sure that it's fine. So I'm baking it for 19 minutes total. And now let's go back and check on it. And I will say that it looks pretty done. Let's try it again. Yep, it's all set, nothing sticks to the knife, and we're ready to take it out. Here are our new lemon or lime bars. So let's put it to cool off on a rack here. Careful, Jack. And let it cool completely on the pan here on the wire rack. Once it's all cool, we're going to sift some powdered sugar on top, and then we will cut it into little bars. So here's my powdered sugar. And you can use a strainer to put the powdered sugar so that it's easier to sift. Try to do it as evenly as possible. Perfect. And let me put my powdered sugar away. And here we have them. Right, Jack? So you can try to cut them with a table knife, or what I normally use, it's a pizza cutter to make it easier to roll through it without ruining your pan. So you can cut this into squares or bars, or depending on what size you want them. You can even use cookie cutters to try to get them out, but it's just easier to do squares. So I'll do squares. And let's try this. Oh yeah, this is good. And Jack wants to smell it too, to make sure that it's good. And here we have our lime bars, or lemon bars. So just scoop them up and put them on a plate, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching, and I hope they enjoyed the recipe. Say bye, Jack. Goodbye. See you next time. Bye.